Okay, can you see the screen? Yeah, okay, sekejap ya. Alright. Hold on. Cari isi file sekejap. Okay, so before we proceed, I think I'll just take the attendance from the participants from the online session. So first of all, good morning everyone. So I apologize deeply for the delay because Saturday kan susah betul nak micromanage all the kids. So I'm having trouble to get out of the house as the soonest. Okay, so anyway, today we will be covering the last chapter on my section, which is related to concept generation. So in the previous exercise, basically, you have apa tu nama sekejap saya kuatkan sound sikit. Okay, so basically you have already learned how to extract the user needs through interviews or surveys, and then during the previous class you already learned how to interpret the voice of customer into technical specification, and then based on that technical specification you would establish your own product spec. Okay, now that you have your product specification details, you can now generate multiple design concepts based on what the user needs and based on the technical requirements. So this is what we are going to cover today. Okay, so concept generation is more likely about generating multiple product concepts. It can be any idea, just as long as the idea fulfills what the user wants or what the user needs. Okay, in order to do that, the approach is not that it's quite subjective kalau you nak generate the design concept on your own. Okay, but then when we learn about product design and development and in industrial design, that you can follow a very structured approach, a systematic approach, so that you are able to generate multiple concepts based on the engineering theoretical ideals. Okay, so let's see what product concept is all about. Okay, so based on the previous exercise, based on the previous class, you have basically come out with your product spec. Okay, this product spec is generated from the house of quality. If you recall our previous exercise, we try to work on the product spec based on the house of quality. Dalam house of quality tu bentuk dia macam rumah tu kan? Okay, yang bentuk dia macam rumah tu. Okay, so over here is the customer needs. And on top here is actually the technical specification. And then you measure the rating of each technical specification and you come up with the product spec. Okay, in this exercise, we'll see the flow. Macam mana you generate user needs and then you establish the product spec and then how you will drive the product concept based on the technical specification. Okay, so what is a product concept? Product concept is basically a general idea, an approximate description of the technology, of the working principle, of the design, and the form of the product, basically, how it looks like. So as you can see in the figure on the right side here, okay, this is an example of a conceptual sport shoes. Okay, so the idea is that instead of having just a normal sport shoes, you want to be able to connect the sport shoes to your smartphone. It's like a IoT based kind of product so that you can fine tune your feet. Okay, so maybe it can measure your number of steps, it can measure your activity related to your health and fitness. So when you wanted to establish a new design concept, so normally you don't just develop one idea only. So ideally, you can generate as many concepts as possible because the more concept that you generated, the more likely you will find a very interesting ideas. Okay, sometimes ideas yang orang tak terfikir pun, but then it will be a good idea for you to sell the product. Okay, so based on a very general idea, you got the product mission. So based on the technical spec, you would be able to establish multiple concepts for the product. So as you can see, semua konsep ni, the aim is the same. Okay, the product statement is the same. The product is still a smart shoes which you can connect to your smartphone, but probably the feature is different, the component is different. Okay, maybe the interface is different. So that is product concept. It's just a general idea on on the variance of your product. Okay, so product concept usually we represent using sketches, kita draw dia, or kalau you have the competency to develop your 3D model, you can develop a rough 3D model, and each of the model you provide with some description, textual description. Okay, so even if you look at this picture, even if it's just a simple sketch, it has some kind of description at the critical features of the product. Okay, so that is product concept. So how do we generate multiple product concept using a structured approach? So normally in product development, we will follow this five-step approach when we want to develop multiple design concept. Okay, so the first one, step one, we clarify the problem first. We understand what do we want to design. Okay, so sometimes we just want to solve a single problem. So solving a single problem may not be that easy. So normally a single problem is being decomposed. We break down into smaller sub-problems, okay, which we call it as problem decomposition. We break it down into smaller sub-problems so that we can tackle the solution, the product concept, based on the smaller problems. Okay, so when you break down the problems into smaller, simpler problems, it will be much easier for you to develop multiple ideas, multiple design concepts. Okay, so the next thing is, once you have understood the problem, once you have clarified the problem, so next thing is you can search for solution externally. Okay, so external solution is like I explained previously, you can conduct interview with the user, you can consult expert, you can explore different patterns design, you can do benchmarking. So basically all this activity is like you are studying what are the existing concept available. Okay, what are the best practice that you can adopt in your project or in your product design. Okay, the next thing is, okay, you can solve the problems by having an internal discussion. So internal discussion normally involves the team member or the staff in your organization. So basically, this group are more well-versed of what you want to do. So in this case, search internally is related to your team member. So basically, they want to innovate something. They have an idea of what they want to do. So the output of this internal search is that you will likely generate a new design concept. So based on the new design concept, so you learn how to explore systematically, how to classify the components, how to create a combination tree, and then you integrate the solution, and then you will generate multiple design concepts over here. So at the end of the day, of course you have to reflect on the solution and the process. Okay, so the basic idea is it starts over here. It starts with identifying what is the real issue, what is the real problem, and then you break it down into smaller sub-problems, and then at the end of the day, over here, you will generate multiple design concepts. Probably you will come up with concept A, concept B, C, and so on. Okay, so after this, you will learn how to screen the concept to choose the best possible concept that you want to fabricate. All right, so let's look at the steps in detail. What happened at each step? Okay, so in the first step, when you want to find the solution for a particular problem, you have to really understand the problem, clarify the problem. So during this step, you develop a general understanding of the problem, and then you break down the problem into sub-problems. So sometimes we refer this activity as a problem decomposition activity. We are breaking it down into smaller sub-problems. Okay, the reason why we do this is that most of design issues is sometimes too difficult. It's quite complex for you to cater a single problem. So it will be easier for you to get the idea when you break it down into smaller sub-problem. Okay, let's look at the example, what I mean by this statement. Okay, let's say you want to design a better handheld nail gun. Okay, anybody have any idea what is a nail gun? What's the purpose of a nail gun? Anybody have used it?
Untuk sambung parts yang tak boleh nak screw. Dekat ke dia fragile, so dia kena
Yeah,
use gun.
in a way macam tu, it's more like, you know paku? Paku, kalau paku biasanya dia nak join different material kan. You guna paku tu because you nak join different material together. You want to assemble multiple components. Okay. So biasanya kalau you pernah belajar kemahiran hidup dulu ke, bila kita nak masukkan paku dalam different components tu, kita kena pakai tukul. Okay. So this nail gun is like the so-called automated tukul lah. Okay. Tukul tu kan it requires a lot of effort for you nak ketuk paku tu sampai betul-betul dia masuk and join the two different components. So this nail gun is basically being used to drive the nail into wood or other material lah. Basically it's for assembly. It's like a tukul but a mechanized tukul kind of thing. Okay. So when you want to design a better handheld nail gun, so the first step is basically you need to understand what the user need. Kalau you recall from the previous class, okay, kita akan buat survey, you akan conduct interview. So based on that interview session or survey with the customer, you will likely identify what the customer needs. So you will have the interpreted needs. Okay, recall balik daripada previous class. Okay, you will identify what the customer needs. So for example, in this case, for a better design, so customer biasanya statement customer ni is very generic. Dia nak something yang cepat, okay, rapid succession. Nailer insert nails in a rapid succession. Okay, that's the first thing that they want to do. The second one is dia nak nailer tu lightweight. Dia nak alat ni ringan. Of course lah, kalau dia handheld, mestilah kita nak dia ringan. Sebab mudah untuk kita carry around, mudah kita nak guna untuk masukkan paku dalam material. Kalau dia berat, it will be very difficult for us to operate the machine. Okay, so the third thing is customer tak nak ada delay. Bila dia tekan trigger tu, dia nak terus nail tu masuk upon the trigger. Okay, dia macam trigger dia is somewhere here. Alamak, dia macam lambat pula saya punya internet kat sini. Sekejap Okay, let me sekejap. Sebab dia tak respon pula dekat display sini. Okay, let me just stop sharing sekejap and I'll reshare again the slide. Okay. Ada lagging sikit dekat wifi U10. Weekend ni diorang pun cuti agaknya. Okay, hold on. Tak keluar lagi
Belum, doktor.
Belum. Okay, sekejap So this one dia lambat lah. Internet problem. Okay, sekejap. Let me just share from my desktop lah. Desktop ni pakai PowerPoint pula. Okay. Sorry. Okay, tak apa. I'll just try share from my desktop. Okay, boleh nampak ke?
Boleh, doktor.
Nampak dia display yang mana? The presentation ke dia punya ni?
Presentation.
Presentation.
Tadi-
Full presentation Bukan yang presenter punya note kan? Okay, so terpaksa pakai laser pointer kat sini. Okay. Can you see the laser pointer? Okay. So now, kita boleh nampak Boleh.
Boleh.
Alright. So now kita nak create we want to break down the problem. So the issue now is first bila we want to design a better nail gun, so kita dapatkan feedback from the customer. So based from the interview or the survey, you will get some interpreted needs. Okay, so what the customer wants. So normally customer memang nak something yang cepat lah. So nailer insert nail. Nailer ni is actually the nail gun lah. So basically dia nak this machine able to insert the nails in rapid succession. So dia akan exert some kind of energy macam pergerakan tukul but in a mechanized way lah. So they want it to be done in a rapid succession. So the second one is that they nak the nail gun to be lightweight because this nail gun is handheld. So you if it is a handheld, it will be mobile. So if you want to carry around the machine, if it is too heavy, it will be very difficult for you to operate the machine. So that is why the second needs is that they want it to be lightweight. Okay. The third one is that dia tak nak delay dekat trigger. Okay. This is actually, kalau you tengok dekat my laser pointer, this is the trigger for the nail gun. So kalau you tekan the trigger, dia akan pump, 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 pump. Dia akan provide some kind of force over here so that the nail akan keluar over here. Okay. So kalau ada delay and then you dah tekan lama and then dia tak ketuk lagi. So macam user experience tak best lah kan, macam bila kerja aku nak siap ni kan. Okay, so that is why the customer highlighted these 3 items as what they want. Okay, so this is considered as the apa tu, mechanical property needed for this nail gun. So you have to identify what is the input for each criteria. So for example, kalau rapid succession, the nail gun are able to insert nail in rapid succession, biasanya it involves some kind of energy, kinetic energy, sebab dia nak move dia punya plunger tu supaya nail tu masuk dalam material. Okay, and then for lightweight, the input may be in terms of the material. So how do you want to optimize the material so that the nail gun is lightweight? And the third one is it involves the trigger, the control between the trigger and the punya mechanical activity of nailing. So the input for this particular statement would be the trigger. So there are 3 inputs that we can explore when it comes to the nail gun. Okay, bila you dah identified the user needs, the next step is you come up with the product spec. Okay, product spec ni macam mana you dapat? You guna the house of quality yang kita buat last time. Okay, so based on the customer needs, okay, these are the product specification defined. Okay, by which dia kata the spec nail length for this machine, for this nail gun, it is only applicable for nail length from 25mm to 38mm, and then maximum nailing energy is 40 joules per nail, and nailing force up to 2000 Newton, and then it only allow nailing rate of 1 nail per second. What else? Average nailing rate 12 nails per minute. So these are the technical specifications. So bila kita cakap pasal technical specification ni, mesti ada numbers. Normally ada numbers to support that particular activity. Okay, so tadi kalau lightweight, kita letak limit dekat product spec. Lightweight tu how light is light. So it specified total mass must be less than 4 kilogram. Okay, that is how we define a lightweight nail gun. And then maximum trigger delay 0.25 seconds. So this trigger is related to the third customer needs. Okay, so normally you can establish as many product spec as possible. Okay, so the next thing is when you want to clarify the problem, you can create the black box of the product. What does it mean by the black box? Okay, let's say the product that you want to redesign is this nail gun ataupun handheld nailer. Okay, so identify what is the input. So this product would be the black box, the so-called black box. So we want to know what is the activity going on inside this product. Okay, so what is the input given to this product? So if we refer to the previous slide, there are 3 inputs that we define, which is the energy, the material, and also the trigger. Okay, so input defined, okay, there must be some kind of energy, and then material, what kind of material kita nak explore, probably kita letaklah material nail. Kalau you nak letak material lain pun boleh juga, it's up to the justification of your team lah. And then the signal would be the trigger. So the next thing is, bila kita provide this kind of input to the product, what will happen? So what will happen is that would be dia punya output basically. So the output is that, okay, kita give some energy, maybe dia akan release some energy as well. So nails in terms of material, kita masukkan paku, the output is that paku is being driven into the material. So that is the output. Okay, what happened after you pull the trigger lah. So if this is a signal is the trigger, so what is the output over here? So this is basically the big idea of how the product operates. Okay, the next thing is we decompose the problem into smaller sub-problem. Okay, sekarang ni this is actually the big picture of how you operate the machine or the product. So kita pecahkan dia lagi into smaller sub-problems, into elemental components lah basically. And how to do that? Okay, recall tadi dalam input ada 3 kan? Energy, nail and also the trigger. So the output after kita guna this blue box represent the machine, the product, which is the nail gun. So the output is that nail gun akan drive the nail into the material or into the workpiece. Okay, so what happened in between, you can break it down. Okay, kalau energy, there must be a device or a component to store or accept external energy. And then you provide some kind energy, mesti ada macam probably it is powered by battery kalau it is a handheld ni kan. Kalau tak ada battery, macam mana you nak generate the energy? Logically thinking. So there must be a component to store or accept the external energy. The next one is, how do you want to convert the energy to translational energy? Translational energy means energy yang membuatkan pergerakan. So in this case, because we want to plunge the nail into the material, it involves a lot of translational energy. Okay, and then in terms of nails, bila you masukkan nail dalam produk tu, mesti ada compartment to store the nails. So you are breaking down this problem into smaller sub-problem. You are decomposing it into smaller sub-problem. You nampak macam bila you nak solve the problem tu, you boleh tackle satu persatu. Okay, so bila nak letak nail dalam nail gun, mesti ada tempat untuk simpan paku tu. And then, mesti ada mechanism to isolate the nail. So, bila kita nak letak paku, kita akan buat one at a time. Biasanya kita takkanlah mesin tu akan tembak 5 paku at one time. Normally, kita tembak 1 paku at one time. So, there must be a mechanism on how we can isolate the nail. Okay, maybe ada channel, maybe ada chamber. So, whatever it is lah. And then the third one, in terms of trigger. There must be a control system to sense the trigger, okay, the trip, and then there must be a trigger tool. Trigger tool ni mungkin bila you tekan the trigger, terus dia akan isolate the nail, and at the same time you apply translation energy to the nail. So this three problem is being combined so that kita boleh apply translation energy to the paku, and then at the end of the day, paku tu can be driven into the material. So this is known as decomposing the functions into smaller, simpler sub-function. So these are small functions, sub-function kita panggil. So macam mana kita nak tahu how small a function can be? So normally you tengok sampai you tak boleh nak figure out the basic part of it, then that would be considered as a small sub-function. Okay, sufficient for you to generate the product concept. So based on this sub-function, you can focus on the more critical problem. So probably you don't have the expertise untuk control system. Kalau dekat trigger ni is related to the control system, is related to the circuit, apa semua dekat dalam nail gun tu. So probably you are not well versed with the circuit system, so you don't have to focus here. Probably you are more on the design of the compartment, so you can focus on the nail storage design. You can focus on the mechanism to isolate the nail. Okay, so from here, you boleh break it down into smaller sub-problem. You can generate multiple concepts afterwards. Okay, so the next step, bila kita dah pecahkan dia into smaller sub-problem, the next step is try to get some idea from external resource. Okay, biasanya bila kita nak buat product design ni, jarang-jarang lah orang yang dapat generate idea tu sendiri. So biasanya you would refer to somebody who have done a similar thing. Okay, so in this activity, basically you find existing solution to each sub-problem. Let's say kalau you nak cari design of nail storage, so you akan break down your search into nail storage ideas. So you can find the solution by interviewing the lead user, macam mana design yang sedia ada. You can consult the expert who are using this, who are designing this product. You can search for patents. So this is an example of a patent. Okay, so selalunya kalau dalam patent design ni, dia ada breakdown of the components. So you can see how the components are being interconnected to one another to perform the sub-function for the nail gun. And then you can also search published literature. You can also benchmark related products, similar products to get some idea basically. So during this search, basically you are looking at the benchmark product lah normally. You are looking at existing solution. You are trying to find the idea. So bila you dah dapat idea, then only you discuss among your team member. So this is known as search internally. So during internal search, you use your team's knowledge to create a new design concept, to create a new idea. So kalau sebelum ni, you collect the idea from existing product, now you try to brainstorm a new idea. Okay, so normally we refer this activity as a brainstorming activity. So when you want to conduct internal search, you have to avoid early criticism. Maknanya you akan kata konsep ni tak elok lah apa semua, so you reject the idea. No, you have to be as open as possible during brainstorming so that you can generate promising solution. Okay, so it is best to generate as many ideas as possible so that you can stimulate promising solutions, so probably you can find very exceptional idea for your product. Okay, and then you should also welcome ideas that may seem infeasible. Macam kadang-kadang kita rasa idea tu tak logik, idea tu tak munasabah, gila lah idea ni. But sometimes crazy ideas may be an exceptional solution to some problems. So please allow wild and unique ideas when you want to come up with your design concept. Okay, and then you can also use graphical and physical media to inspire you in finding the design solution. Okay, so there are many brainstorming methods that you can do. So here are some of the examples that you can use for your project. Okay, the first one, it involves, it is called as a generative and participatory method. What it means by this method is that, okay, dalam satu team tu, there must be a moderator. Okay, people who will oversee the activity. So normally in an organization, the designer or the engineer will be the moderator. Okay, and then what the moderator would instruct each team member. Let's say this is your team member. So each team member have to draw up their concept or their idea on a piece of paper. So during this activity, it takes like, give them like a very short 2 minutes or so to draw a concept of the product. Kalau you design nail gun, okay, think of an idea for a nail gun. If you're designing like a printing machine, a kiosk printer, think of any design for the kiosk printer. So setiap orang ni kena generate their own concept. So kalau ada 5 orang dalam group tu, you would establish 5 concept. Okay, so after 2 minutes, after 2 to 3 minutes, you pass on, you instruct the team member to pass on their design idea to the next person. Okay, so like a rotation macam ni lah. Orang ni bila dia dah buat the first design concept, dia pass idea dia dekat orang ni, dia pass paper dia dekat orang ni. This second person pass their paper to the third person pass the paper to the fourth person pass their paper to the fifth person. Dia macam rotate macam tu. So when you pass on the idea to the next person, probably you will notice macam orang ni akan notice a different perspective pula. Tadi dia bagi idea, okay? Sekarang dia try to improve the idea of this member kat sini, okay? So this person, the second person, will try to improve the initial drawing created by their friend here. Okay, so the same goes with this guy and also this guy. Semua dia try to improve based on the previous design concept. And then after 2-3 minutes, pass to the next person. Pass it. Kenapa kita buat activity ni? Basically, this activity, setiap orang, as you know, every person have different thinking. They have different unique approach. They have different ideas. So sometimes you think you have a good idea. Tiba-tiba bila you pass the idea to the second person, that person may have a better idea on how to improve your idea. So that's the main concept of this method. Okay, basically we want to improve the existing idea so that you are able to come up with a robust and exceptional idea. So you repeat that process until that paper comes back to the owner. Okay, so kalau 5 orang kat sini, probably dia akan ada 5 kali modification. So at the end of the day, dia akan sampai balik kepada owner of the design. Okay, so the owner will review the modification suggested by their team members or their friends, and then maybe dia boleh adopt the changes. So from this activity, you are able to generate 5 different design concept at one time. Okay, this is known as a generative and participatory method. Okay. The second approach that you can use is by using the 6 thinking hat. Okay, six thinking hat ni is like you putting on different hat. Every hat ni, it have its own category, its own criteria. Okay, so it is called as a six thinking hat because there are six hats that six hats or six items to think about during the brainstorming activity. So it's a very simple process. It provides a team to be more productive, focused, and involved, mindfully involved. Okay, so for each hat, almost similar, you spend about 3 to 4 minutes per hat, and then the hat represents a style of thinking. They do not describe the people, thinking habits, or thoughts. It is only meant to focus the thinking and to make it more efficient. Okay, what is the sixth thinking hat? Okay, the sixth thinking hat is this one. Okay, it covers six different criteria. Okay, kalau blue is related to the process. Okay, so bila you nak design some product, maybe you put on, some person would put on the blue hat. Blue hat, by this person dia akan fikir pasal proses je, how to develop the product, how to purchase the raw material, the process. Okay, so another person would put on the green hat. Green hat represents creativity. So creativity, probably this person kena think out of innovative solution for your project. Okay, what are the ideas that they can adopt? So this is the creativity hat. The white hat is related to facts. So you have to find information, existing information about the product. Do we have the resources? Do we have the material? It's all about facts. White hat is related to facts. Where do you find the information? Dia berlandaskan fakta je. Creativity ni dia bermain dengan imagination dia. Whereas white hat ni, it plays around with existing fact. Do we have sufficient fund to develop our product and so on? Okay. The yellow hat, on the other hand, it relates to the benefit, the plus point of your product. So maybe of each idea, dia akan fikir the positive side of each idea. So orang ni sangat positif. Alright. So red hat is about feelings. Dia macam emosi. Kalau you jatuh cinta kat seseorang, dia bentuk love dia, emoji dia warna merah kan. So red symbolize for feelings. So intuition, hunches. So you collect opinions or reactions regarding your design concept. You express your feeling over here. Okay, black hat is like berhati-hati, cautions. So what are the difficulties? What are the weakness? What are the risks? So what are the dangers if we proceed with this particular idea? Okay, so how do you use the six thinking hat? So if you have 6 team member in your team, so each person would wear their own respective hats. So some person would wear the blue hat, some person would put on the green hat, some person would be the red hat, some person would put on the white hat, yellow and black. So all the person assigned to that particular hat, they have to adjust their thinking to think of the specific thing. For example, blue tadi related dengan proses. Okay, so this person who are assigned to the blue hat, dia kena think, what's the product? What's the purpose of the product? How to use it and so on. Dia kena fikir pasal benda tu je, tak payah nak fikir benefit. Benefit dekat siapa? Kalau benefit tadi warna kuning, kalau tak silap, yes. Benefit warna kuning. So, orang yang pegang topi kuning tu, dia fikir pasal benefit of the product je. Dia tak kisah pun bahaya ke tak bahaya, dia fikir benefit je manjang. Okay, so that's how you use the six thinking hat. Okay. This is an example how you use a six thinking hat to improve the concept of an air refreshing gel. So, kalau siapa pakai air refreshing gel ni, biasanya kita nak buat the environment tu wangi kan? Okay, so siapa yang in charge, the team member who are assigned with the blue hat, they have to think about the process of this product. The product is an air refreshing gel. What is it is being used? What's the purpose, the process of the product? Okay, kalau yang warna merah, dia kena think of the feeling only. Okay, so what's the feeling when they use this product? So I feel calm when smelling it. I like rose. Dia pakai feeling, dia tak pakai fakta ke apa. Facts, information would be the white hat. Okay, so the person who are assigned with the white hat, dia akan fikir all the facts. Dia macam, kalau feeling ni is very subjective, something yang you cannot touch. Facts or information, you have to deal with something that make sense, something that is available. So kalau you suka bau ros, so what are the facts that you have? Okay, you have to consider what are the materials, the smell, the preservatives, and so on. Yellow hat, dia akan think of the benefit only. So in this case, probably dia nak buat this product to be biodegradable. Dia nak the container to be biodegradable so that it is environmentally friendly. And then black hat, cautious, justify. I don't think this is helpful for asthma patient. Dia kena berhati-hati. And finally, this one would be the creativity hat lah. Kalau warna hijau ni is related to creativity. What are the new ideas or innovation that can be adopted to the existing air refreshing gel? So maybe dia nak buat a battery operated fan blades to blow the fragrance. So lagi effective dia punya spread of the smell. So this is the example of how you can use the 6 thinking hat. Right? So far everything okay?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, so before we proceed to the next step, okay, the next approach of brainstorming activity, boleh tak kita take like a short 1 minute break sekejap? Alright, so let's just take a short 1 minute break before we continue to the next part, okay? Okay, now let's continue to the next section. Okay, the thing is bila buat online kelas ni kan, dia macam mulut je bergerak, badan tak bergerak. So dia jadi macam mulut saya cepat penat pula. Okay, so can we continue? Oh, ada macam
Okay.
grey area situ. Sekejap. Macam mana saya nak hilangkan benda ni? Okay, hold on. Okay. There's like a grey area atas ni.
Dia tak ada tu.
Dah tak ada dah?
Ha.
So dia dah okey dekat tab saya ni dia tunjuk benda lain pula. Okay, can you see this one, Scamper?
Yes.
Okay, so another method that you can use when you are brainstorming among your team member is by using the Scamper method. Scamper method ni pun very interesting, whereby you can adopt every single item ni in the for the purpose of product improvement basically. So Scamper ni, it is actually an abbreviation which represents something. For example, S stands for substitute. So what if the new design, you replace the part? Substitute means ganti, substitute. So let's say probably a new design concept is that you substitute that part with another part that works better. So that is the S part in Scamper. So that's how you generate a new design idea. Okay, so the next one, the C part is combine. So what if the new concept, you combine different components together so that you have an improved product, you have an improved component. So that's the C in Scamper. So the third one is you can think of adapt. Adapt means update, adapt, assimilasi, adapt the product with a new preference. Let's say you are designing a bicycle. So maybe you want to design a bicycle for people with amputated leg. So that is adapt, okay? Designing the product for a new preference, a new idea. So that is basically a new idea. So bila you ada new idea, you have new design concept. So that's how you generate many design concept. So sebenarnya there are endless possibilities when you come up with the design concept. So these are among the methods lah. Basically, you can substitute the parts, you can combine the parts, you can adapt the parts. Okay, the M in Scamper means modify. So maybe what kind of modification can you do to the existing product? Probably you can change the appearance, the feature, the aesthetic value, the aesthetic visual of that product. Maybe you can change the presentation, maybe you can change the design, maybe you can change the color. So that falls under modification. Okay, the next one is the P is that you can think of a purpose. Okay, use a product for a purpose that was not intended. Okay, something that not what is intended for. So for example, design of a bicycle. Maybe you nak jadikan bicycle tu pasu bunga. That's not the main purpose of a bicycle. But then you want to redesign for a new product, a new variant. So you are playing around with the purpose of the product. Okay, that's the P part in Scamper. Okay, the next one is eliminate. Eliminate means you take off the parts that are useless or not valued. Okay, you eliminate the components. Probably when you eliminate some parts, then you can come up with a product which is more lightweight, a product which is more compact. So that's how you develop a new design concept. So kalau you notice, siapa yang pernah ada laptop, laptop zaman dulu-dulu dia ada CD-ROM. Okay, dia ada CD-ROM whereby you boleh tekan one button, dia keluar dia punya CD holder dia tu kan, and then you boleh masukkan CD. Okay, laptop sekarang ada lagi tak CD-ROM punya tempat tu? You punya laptop ada tak? Tak ada. So basically tu laptop lama dia ada. Tu special. Okay. Dulu kita rasa CD-ROM is a necessity. Macam mesti kena ada because we want to read a lot of data. Macam zaman saya dulu, we don't have a very big space pen drive ataupun hard disk. Kita orang tak ada benda tu. Kita punya pen drive pun ada 12 gig, kecil je, very small. So normally if we want to read a very huge data, we want to store huge data, we would use a CD. So CD-ROM is a necessity back then. But nowadays, with the advance of technology, you ada SD card, memory card yang can store a very huge memory, 128 gig, even huge, even more memory daripada CD-ROM. So CD-ROM dah jadi negligible, okay? And most of your data can be stored online. You boleh store dalam cloud. So penggunaan CD-ROM tu is not that significant anymore. So that is why the latest variant of laptop, they eliminate the CD-ROM punya part. So what happen bila they eliminate the CD-ROM? So when they eliminate a single CD-ROM punya component tu, a single CD-ROM punya housing, they can make the design of the laptop more compact. Okay, lagi compact and it will be more lightweight. So that is what the user usually wants. Laptop is a mobile device yang kita bawa ke mana-mana. So normally a mobile device, a user would prefer the device to be lightweight. Okay, so that is how you develop a new concept by using eliminating approach. Okay, finally the R part is reverse. Reverse means to deconstruct or rethink some of the main pillars, to reverse engineering lah. Okay, reverse the design. Think of back to the root cause. Apa benda R ni? Okay, so this camper method is very, I think is quite useful for you to establish multiple design concept. So kalau you apply every single word kat sini, substitute, combine, adapt, modify, purpose, eliminate, reverse. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you can come up with 7 different designs by adopting this camper method. Okay, let's look at the example, right? This is an example of the idea generation for a pencil. Very simple je, pencil je kan. So they use a scamper product, like the product is pencil, they use a scamper method. So macam mana dia guna scamper method to generate different ideas for a pencil? Pencil nampak very simple kan, macam produk yang sangat single product yang looks very simple, but using scamper product you can generate multiple design concept as well. So for example, pencil, in the S part is substitute. So simple pencil to be pencil, what if you substitute the end of the pencil tu ganti dengan eraser? So you are creating a new design concept. Okay, so this is a new design concept based on the original one. Okay, that is substitute, gantikan dia, substitute. Okay, the C part is combine. Okay, probably you can combine the function of a pencil dengan pen. Okay, the main purpose, the difference is just the material, tapi the purpose is the same, to write something on paper kan. Cuma bezanya pencil is erasable whereas pen is not erasable. But nowadays there are pens yang boleh padam juga. Okay, pen yang daripada Jepun kan, biasanya dia ada function boleh padam juga. So that is a new idea. So tadi dah generate satu idea using the S, and then you are able to generate the second idea based on the combined feature in Scamper. Okay, so dah dapat 2 design concept. So senang je kan, nampak, nak generate multiple design concept, it's not that difficult. Okay, and then tengok the A part. The A part is to adapt. Okay, adapt with the user. Okay, so there are certain user who likes to use sharpener to use a pencil. There are certain user who doesn't like to use sharpener, but they like to use a blade to sharpen the lead. Okay, so they adapt to different features, they adapt to different designs. So they have to make sure the wood material can be used for people who use sharpener, and also for people who wants to slice the wood using knife or blades. All right, that is adapt. Okay, so what else? You can also consider, okay, the P is to put, SCAM. M apa? M tadi magnify Saya tengok balik. M tadi is, what is it? Hold on. Mana dia? Okay, the M part is modify. Modify the appearance and the presentation. Okay, modify the appearance. So maybe the normal size is like handheld. So you can modify by creating a new variant of pencil yang besar, XL size. You can create a pencil yang XS size. Modify, so magnify or minimize. This is the M. They modify the profile of the pencil. So you generated multiple concepts over here as well. Okay, so biasanya kalau budak-budak baru nak belajar menulis, they would use a bigger pencil. Okay, macam anak saya, dia tak suka guna pensel besar, dia suka guna pensel kecil-kecil. So, pensel tu panjang-panjang, dia akan sharp sampai jadi pendek. Saya pun tak tahu kenapa. Because maybe dia rasa lagi lightweight, lagi mudah untuk dia control. So, dia yang baru belajar menulis, dia suka pensel yang kecil-kecil. So, you generated a new design concept by modifying the features or the profile or the features of the original product. Okay, so that is the M part. And then what else? P purpose ataupun put to another use. So normally pencil kita guna untuk menulis. Tapi maybe this time around dia punya the part of the pencil tu, dia punya hujung dia tu, maybe you can modify it and then use as a hook instead. Maybe it is detachable and becomes a hook for something. So you put it to other use. Okay, so this is the P part in Scamper. And then E. E means eliminate. Okay, let's say you want to eliminate the wood feature. So how do you want to substitute it? This is eliminate and substitute. So in this case, they eliminate the wood structure which hold up the lead. So they replace with a mechanical design. So this is a new design concept for pencil. So you can see a very simple product pun you dah generate multiple design idea, design solution or product concept. Okay, so that is the E part. Okay, R is related to reverse. So if you notice sekarang ni ada orang dia buat pencil yang boleh tumbuhkan pokok. The pencil have some kind of seeds dekat dalam dia. It's like a degradable pencil. So they reverse the purpose of the pencil. So this pencil dia kata okay maybe boleh consider untuk replant a plant ataupun it can be used as a slot opener, okay, untuk buat a slot to plant a new plant, okay. So ada banyak, ada pencil yang macam tu, ada juga pencil yang dia, bila you tanam that pencil, dia akan jadi pokok. So that is a reverse engineering. You are like redefining the function of the pencil. And finally ada lagi ke? E. So that is basically R, reverse. So using this Camper method, you tengok dah berapa banyak design konsep dah you buat. Okay, so since your group ada 5 team members, so it will be easy for every single member to come up with a very simple 2 design concept kan. So you can use a Scamper method, you can use the generative and participatory method. So Scamper method ni quite straightforward. You can use a 6 thinking hat, alright. So here's also another example of a Scamper method, brainstorming method for a spoon. Okay, this one dia macam dia guna konsep mind map lah, dia combine dengan konsep mind map. Okay, so for the S part, for example, spoon, substitute. So nak substitute apa? Dia pecahkan lagi. Substitute the color, change the color, change the material, substitute the holder, change the function. Dia pecahkan lagi jadi few elements. So let's say, okay, no, I want to focus on the material only. So what kind of material? What are the alternatives? A material that is glow in the dark. Interesting kan, ada spoon yang glow in the dark. A material that maybe edible material. It can be eaten. Macam straw kan. Straw yang sekarang ni, degradable straw, it can be eaten kan. Ada yang macam paper. Ada yang kalau you pergi coffee bean tu, it is edible. If I'm not mistaken, dia macam made of macam polymer, edible polymer. Macam tu. Okay, so maybe you can change the material to wood. Maybe this wood, the advantage is that it is recyclable. So you see, by using mind map, you can break down the Scamper method to generate even more design concept. Okay, the second one, combine, adapt, modify. So you study this mind map, you study this map, and you try to adopt it into your project. Okay, so it will be very convenient for you to come up with many different ideas using the Scamper method. Okay, so the next thing, bila kita dah dapat banyak idea, maybe you akan dapat hundreds of idea, hundreds of design solution. So basically daripada internal search lah, from external search, you will find the existing solution. You will get some idea on the approach of problem solving. During the internal search, you can use a Scamper method untuk generate new solution. So based on these 2 activities, the team, your project team, may have collected hundreds of concept fragments or solution to sub-problem. So now what you need to do is you need to systematically organize the idea and then synthesize, evaluate. Synthesize means you evaluate each idea. Evaluate each solution, and then you can combine each solution fragment to come up with a new design concept. So how do we do this? Normally, we can use a morphological chart technique, and this is a structured approach whereby you can generate multiple design concept of a big product to explore solution for a design problem. Okay, so how do you do this? So let's look at the example. Let's say you dah guna scamper method, you got some idea on how to solve the problem. Okay, the next thing is you can explore the solution systematically by using the morphological chart. Okay, this is the example of the morphological chart of an office chair. So kalau you break down the office chair into different components or different function, okay, kerusi kan, dia mesti ada one part for the seat, and then one part for the back, and then another part for the armrest, and then another part for the stand dekat bawah tu. So for the seat, you can come up with many design variants. Okay, you can come up with 1, 2, 3, or even 5 design variants. So you can play around with this feature. Let's say you nak seat yang 4 segi, seat yang half round, a rectangle seat, a round seat, an ellipsoidal seat. Okay, so this is related to the design. You dah masuk dia punya design aspect, the product design aspect. And then the backrest itu. So you can consider a square shape, you can consider a trapezoidal shape, you can consider a unique trapezoidal shape like this, a round shape and ellipsoidal. And then the armrest pun, there are many design variants for armrest. And the stand pun, many design variants. Okay, maybe ada 5 leg macam ni tak boleh bergerak. Maybe you can adopt some kind of mobility over here, letak wheel ke apa ke kan. Okay, so this is the morphological chart of an office chair. So the next one is you generate different concept by combining each function differently. So, for example, okay, the demo is sebab saya tak boleh nak tulis balik dekat saya punya tab ni. So, I have to use over here. Okay, so how do you use a concept combination? Okay, let's say for the first design concept, you nak create a very simple generic office chair. So, you want to choose this one, the first form, and then you want to choose a back over here, and then you want to choose a very simple armrest like this, and then you want to choose a simple fixed stand like this. Okay, this combination would be your concept 1. Okay, sorry terpaksa menulis dengan mouse, so dia macam kelakar sikit shape dia. Okay, that is your concept 1. The combination of different functioning would be your first concept. So let's say you want to create a different concept. So saya katakan setiap orang kena generate at least 2 concept. So maybe you can the second concept you play around with different combinations. Sekejap tak boleh tukar warna. Okay. The second one, let's say the second combination you nak use around seats. Okay. And then you nak combine dengan a trapezoidal shape of backrest. Okay. Dia sambung kat sini. Okay. And then the third one is you nak semua ada curvy-curvy sikit. So you take the J shape concept. Okay. You combine this feature, and then maybe you want a simple round stand like this. Okay. So this combination of function would be your second concept. Okay. So this is how you are able to establish multiple design concepts using the morphological chart. So is it possible for you to generate 10 concepts at least for each group? Senang kan? Using this morphological chart, it will be very convenient, and it is possible for you to establish different variants of product idea. Okay, so this is what is required for your project. So basically, each project team, each individual in your project team have to establish at least 2 product concept, 2 design concept. So combining all your concept with all the other team members, if you have 5 individuals in your team, therefore each group would have to generate at least like 10 design ideas, 10 concepts, 10 different concepts. Okay, so this is a systematic method on how you can generate a very different, unique, and a systematic way of how you establish multiple design concepts, basically. Okay. So finally, the last step is basically we look back. Okay, kita reflect balik. So you look back, bila you have established a 10 design concept, you review balik. Of course, bila you nak combine the idea tu, you review balik. Maybe some people will generate the same idea. So you have to create a different idea pula. So you review balik the combined ideas of your team member. So is the team confidence on the conceptual idea generated? Okay. Are you satisfied with the design concept? Okay, do you want to proceed with that product concept? You want to proceed with that idea? So, are there any alternatives to the functional diagram? Can you break down the functional diagram into many different subcomponents? Functional diagram tu apa? Functional diagram tu would be this one. This is a functional diagram. Okay, can you break it down further? Can you consider a different configuration? Can you consider a different components, a different material? So that is what you think of during the review process. Okay, and then maybe you can consider other alternatives to decompose a problem, breaking it down into smaller sub-problems. Okay, maybe you can consider a unique approach. So it is an iterative process. Okay, the design concept is an iterative process. It can keep on evolving sampai everybody is satisfied with your design ideas. Okay, and then have all the external sources been thoroughly pursued? Maknanya, have you consult expert on your design idea? Have you interviewed the lead user? Have you conduct a thorough search from the patent or literature? Have you conducted a sufficient benchmarking activity? So you review that. Kalau tak puas hati, research balik, cari balik details, data, design from other people. Okay, so have ideas from everyone in your team been accepted and integrated in the process? So normally, if we want to create a win-win situation, so normally we will pick and place lah everybody's idea into a single product. So that is like a win-win situation. Tak adalah dia kena reject habis idea dia. So maybe some idea a certain component tu is a good idea from person A. Person B pula maybe in terms of design dia cantik. So you can combine the ideas into a single product. Okay, so these are the variants of the nail gun. Tadi kita buat example pasal nail gun kan. So these are the different design concepts that you can present for your product. Okay, so the function is the same. The function is to ensure that the nail is being driven into the material. Tapi kalau you tengok, features dia semua berbeza. Okay, maybe the storage of the nail is different. Maybe in terms of the holder design is different. Maybe in terms of the punya how they exert the power is different. So using this structured and systematic approach, then only you can establish a very a rich design concept. Okay, so bila you dah dapat banyak design concept ni, basically it is much more easier and convenient for you to screen down the design concept. You tak boleh nak proceed with all the ideas. Let's say dalam satu group, let's say you dah ada, for example dalam design nail gun ni 4, 8, 12, ada 12 design concept. You cannot fabricate all 12 designs because it would not be economical. Okay, in terms of budget, raw material, it will not be sufficient. So normally after you dah generate this multiple design concept, you have to screen and select the best concept that you want to proceed with, the best concept that you want to fabricate. Okay, you want to pursue further. Okay, so this gives a good exposure. Bila you dah ada very rich design concept, you can also hand over this design to your juniors, okay, to the person who are continuing that particular project. So this is a very structured approach on how you can generate multiple design concept. So untuk concept screening nanti, Dr. Zul akan ajarlah how to use a systematic method on how to screen the design concept. Okay, any questions so far? Is it good? Semua orang okay?
No question.
Okay, very good. So I think untuk industrial design sketches, sebenarnya it have been covered in chapter 3 dulu. So very generic lah, macam perspective view tu macam mana. So you just revisit that chapter 3 on industrial design sketches. So I think based from this lecture, you are now able to complete your interim report up to the concept generation stage. Okay, so basically for your interim report, memang I requested for you to at least be able to come up with multiple design concepts. Screening scoring tu maybe nanti dalam chapter Dr. Zul dia akan ajar, kalau cepat ajar you boleh masukkan dalam your interim report. Kalau tak ada, you just exclude the part, at least we have some idea that your team are progressing with your project. Okay, so this basically sums up our lecture today lah. Alright, so I already give you an introduction of what product concept is all about. So product concept tu you tak boleh work on a single concept je. Sometimes bila you just you focus on a single concept, you miss out opportunity for innovation. You miss out the opportunity to further improve the product. Okay, so that is why bila you come up with a concept, a product concept, biasanya orang akan buat many design concept idea. Okay, because they want to find hidden solution yang orang lain tak pernah fikir. They want to find a unique, very standout solution that can fulfill the customer needs. Alright, and then we already explored on the structured way on how you can generate multiple design concept. So based on the method that I teach you today, so basically you can generate more than 5 design ideas, more than 5 product concept using this structured method, because basically you are decomposing the function into smaller sub functions, so you boleh tackle every sub function to become a new design concept. Okay, so if there's no question, just a quick reminder. Okay, please register the team member, your project title, and also the team member of your project. The link in WhatsApp, actually saya belum share the link, tapi I already uploaded and embedded the form in Ulearn. So dekat Ulearn tu nanti you search under tile assessment, if I'm not mistaken, assessment. Okay, cari under assessment. So items which needs to be submitted and to be evaluated by the lecturer, it falls under assessment. Okay, so please submit your project name and also the team member for your project in that form. So kalau dalam form tu tak ada nama you, please PM me later through WhatsApp lah, so that I can update the form. Alright, so again a quick reminder, submission of interim report would be due on 27th of May 2023. So about 1 week from this date, we will give back the interim report to you guys again, so that you can take necessary improvement, necessary action based on the comments or feedback given, and improve it for your final project submission. Okay, so I think that is all for now. Any final question, final remark?
Doktor, our midterm
Hmm.
then bila?
Midterm, I'm planning to conduct it on 22nd of May. Sekejap, I tengok kalender sekejap Okay, 22nd of May, most probably. Ada cuti ke hari tu? Tak ada. 22nd of May, Monday, maybe during class time. Tapi kalau tak sempat during class time, then kena opt for other times yang you guys kosong lah. Okay? Sebab midterm ni is like a very simple one. Dia tak ada dalam jadual midterm yang lain. So, most likely will be on 22nd, which will be held dalam pukul 2:30 macam tu. Okay? The topic that will be covered adalah topik yang mana yang until today lah, until yang saya ajar hari ni. So that's the items will be covered. There will be 3 question. Okay, 3 question for your midterm. Test 1 lah, it's actually test 1. So the first 2 question is more, you have to answer all question. The duration for your test 1 would be 2.5 hour. Okay, and 2.5 hour tu macam dia terlebih sikit daripada time kelas you. Okay, so you have to answer all question. The first 2 question is just theoretical question. The third question would be like a case study kind of question. So everybody would have a different kind of answer lah for the test 1. Should have a different answer, macam takkan sama lah dengan kawan-kawan lain. Alright? So be very unique. So kalau sama tu saya tahulah ada yang tiru-tiru ke, tengok-tengok kawan lain ke, ataupun mungkin ada pemikiran yang sama dengan kawan-kawan ke, I'm not sure. Okay, so the question is being designed so that you can generate your own idea, your own unique idea. Alright? Okay, any other question? Okay, all good. So I think that sums up our lecture today, and this is the final part that I need to cover. So if you have any questions related to the lecture, related to the previous chapter, feel free to contact me again through WhatsApp. Okay, I try to cater to all your questions. Okay, I think that is all for today. So have a good day, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to see you again. Probably I'll see you again during your final presentation. Okay, so all the best. Don't forget to submit the interim report on 27th of May in ULEN. All right, that is all for now. So have a good day, have a good weekend. Okay, bye bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Doctor.
Dokter.
You
Okay,
Doctor.
welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Doctor.
Okay,
Bye-bye, Dokter.
bye. Bye bye. Take care. Enjoy your weekend.